You're listening to the Unstoppable Teen Podcast, episode number 35. Welcome to Unstoppable Teen, the podcast for teenagers, parents, and teachers. My name is Kevin Mincher. Every week, we will bring you an inspirational person or message to help you experience more success and happiness. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's get this party started. Hello, Unstoppable Nation, it's Kevin here. Welcome to the show. In this episode, I'm going to share with you 5 solutions for teen stress. Let me explain why. In a study conducted here in the UK, teenagers said that their second biggest concern was exam stress. When you think about all the issues that young people face today, I find it quite remarkable that stress is their second biggest concern. I mean, after all, our youth, isn't that supposed to be the time when we have the most fun? You know, when we haven't got a mortgage to pay, we haven't got responsibilities for, children that we might have in the future. Isn't our adolescence, our teenage years, aren't they supposed to be the ones where we're somewhat carefree and enjoying ourselves? And yet somehow the adults, the politicians, media, society in general has somehow created a system that is causing our young people to feel stressed, where they're constantly feeling put under pressure, in particular in the context of school and the grades that they get in school. All too often, young people tag their sense of self-worth to their level of success in school. If they're doing well in school, then they feel like they have a place in the world and they've got something to contribute. If they're not doing so well in school, they start to feel disillusioned, disheartened, disengaged, disappointed. Sadly, we've created a system and a situation that, in my opinion, isn't serving young people as well as it could be and as well as it should be. And in this session, what I want to do is show you how you can reduce stress, whether you're a teenager that's listening, whether you're a parent that's listening, or indeed a teacher and educator. I want to give you 5 solutions that you can use to turn down the stress levels and experience more joy. That's the point of life, surely, to experience more joy. You see, here at Unstoppable Teen, we've been conducting our own research. And we were asking students to what extent they feel like they can control their emotions. And we weren't surprised when we discovered that only 59% of students that completed the survey said that they felt that they could keep control of their emotions. Now, frankly, that's not good enough. And let me help you understand why that's not a very good thing. You see, stress is a performance inhibitor for lots of people. Now, there are different types of stress. Some stress is good. It can help motivate us, but too much of the wrong kind of stress can inhibit the performance of the brain. It actually shuts down the part of the brain that deals with memory and recall. Now, that's awful, especially if you've got some tests and exams coming up. So, in this episode, I'm going to give you 5 simple things that you can do, anybody can do, to be able to reduce their stress levels and improve their performance when it comes to preparing for tests and exams. So let's get started with these 5 solutions for teen stress. Before we dive in, I just want to say that over the last 20 years, I've recognised that many young people fall into the trap of looking outside of them for the cause of stress and for the solutions to stress. And frankly, if that's you, you're looking in the wrong place. The issues that you're experiencing are rarely outside, external factors. And if you're looking to your parents, your peers, politicians, your teachers, or somebody else to fix your stress levels, then you're probably looking in the wrong place. The solutions to teen stress are much closer to home. You need to look on the inside, not the outside. It's your daily routines, your rituals, your habits, your lifestyle, how you think, how you use your body, what you eat, what you drink, how you sleep. It's a number of these factors that are in your sphere of influence. They're your responsibility. They're things that you are in control of. And those are the things that actually generate your emotions. So let's get started with the first of the 5 solutions. The first solution for teen stress is correct breathing. What do I mean? Well, unfortunately, in the modern world, we've developed some really bad routines and designed some really poor furniture that prevents us from breathing well. And because we're not breathing well, that lack of oxygen in the system creates tension, which in the end leads to stress. When we're sat at home, whether we're watching TV, browsing the internet, whatever it may be, we're often in a slouched position. Our shoulders become slumped, and our rib cage traps a muscle called the diaphragm. Now, the diaphragm needs to be able to work correctly for your lungs to work correctly, and of course your lungs need to work correctly in order to filter the oxygen and get it through to the cells, to your mind and your body, in order to feel good. Now, we might get enough oxygen into our system to survive, but we're not getting enough oxygen in there to thrive. And even this happens when we go to school, because we sit on a chair and lean forwards over a desk, and that same phenomenon of trapping the diaphragm and restricting the lungs starts to occur when we lean forwards over a desk when we're studying. So what's the solution? Well, the first suggestion I would have for you is make a conscious effort at least 3 times a day to take 10 deep breaths. You can do that as you're getting a shower in the morning, to make sure you take those 10 deep breaths and get the oxygen into your system. That oxygen relieves stress. It has a calming effect. When you shallow breathe, when you feel like you're more panting like a dog, that will create tension and anxiety. So slow your breathing down and make it deeper. Even better than 3 sets of deep breathing, you can do that, as I said, shower in the morning. You could do it while you're having your lunch break. You could do it of an evening as you're, getting home from school. But in addition to doing the 10 deep breaths 3 times a day, I want to encourage you to get involved in some form of physical exercise. Find some kind of movement that you enjoy. And it's when you exercise, and that can be running, it can be cycling, it can be skipping, it can be dancing, it can be a team sport, it doesn't matter what it is. But to take half an hour a day, and if you can't do half an hour a day, then certainly make it at least every other day, and get yourself in that routine of having some exercise. And that deep breathing that occurs when you're exercising does amazing things for calming you down. The other thing that happens when you're exercising is you release endorphins. And endorphins are the feel-good chemicals. And when your body releases that into your system, it's really difficult to feel stressed and tensed. So go for it. Get your deep breathing, get your exercise, and that'll help relieve that teen stress. The second solution to teen stress is about getting high quality sleep. Oh, you've got to love that, haven't you? That's going to be the best homework you've ever been set. I'm sending you home and I'm saying, go and sleep more. Here's the thing. In our recent research, we discovered that less than 20% of all teenagers are getting the recommended amount of sleep. Why is that a problem? Well, if you don't get the rest at night, that's when actually the brain, the mind, the body develops. It's actually when your learning gets consolidated and memory becomes activated. And if you leave your mobile phone, your cell phone on at night, or if you're playing computer games late into the early hours, if you don't get a minimum of 8 and preferably 9 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep, then you're causing yourself major problems. You're causing your own stress. And you have no right to be complaining about workload when you're not actually looking after your mind and your body through getting enough sleep. You can't complain that the school is giving you too much to do when you're not actually looking after your body. Yeah, sure, it feels like you've got too much to do, but that's because you can't concentrate. And you can't concentrate because you're stressed, and you're stressed because you didn't get enough sleep. The moment you get the right amount of sleep, the tension goes away, the work becomes easier to do. So come closer to home, folks, and start taking more responsibility for your sleep. Here's my recommendations for teenagers. Do not take your mobile phone in your bedroom at night. I recommend to all families that you have one charge point, ideally outside of the bedroom, ideally downstairs, maybe in the kitchen, somewhere well away from the bedroom. So you don't get that blue light, you don't get those in the middle of the night prompts from Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever social network you're active on. You don't get those WhatsApp messages from your mates who are saying, "Oh, I can't sleep, can you? Are you up? Yeah, I'm up. What's going on?" Relax. Switch off those computer games. Take the television out of the bedroom. Relax. It's a bedroom. It's a room for a bed. It's a place to sleep. And if you're going on there and you're flooding your eyes with blue light, we know that blue light coming from screens, whether it's smartphones, iPads, televisions, computers, that prevents the release of the hormone, the chemical that the brain needs in order to activate sleep. And I think if I remember correctly, it's called melatonin. I might have that wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it prevents that chemical release. And if you prevent the chemical release, your brain can't switch off. It can't shut down. So my recommendation is, an hour before you want to go to sleep, switch off the screens. I have a 1 hour wind down. I get in the bath. I listen to some calming music. I dim the lights. I listen to some comedy. And because I'm listening to it, I'm not getting the blue light. Or you might read one of those old traditional paperback books, just a piece of fiction, just to enjoy the story. And as you wind yourself down and you get that easing off towards bedtime, it becomes easier to fall asleep and get those 8 hours. Here's the remarkable thing. In one study, when students were asked to just get 1 extra hour of sleep per night, their grades went up. And they went up significantly. In other research, it showed that memory improved by 57%, 1 hour's sleep, and concentration improved by 48%. 1 extra hour of sleep. The impact of sleep is remarkable. It helps reduce the stress levels and improves your performance. So make it a priority for you to get that sleep from today onwards. The third thing that you can do to reduce teen stress is to get your hydration right. In other words, what you are drinking creates stress or relieves stress. If you're drinking lots of caffeine, if you're one of those kinds of people that needs to wake up in the morning and go get a coffee, some tea, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever it may be, of course, there are other drinks out there, those they call them energy drinks. They're not energy drinks, it's an illusion. They create the surge of energy that overwhelms the system, gives you too much of a perk, and then your system crashes. And it becomes an addictive process where you've now got to drink more of that so-called energy drink to get your energy levels back up again through using chemicals rather than doing it naturally. The caffeine and the sugar that are in some of those drinks, there's Monster, there's Red Bull, other brands are obviously available. I haven't put one of those things near my lips for over a decade because I understand the damage that it does and the stress and the tension that it causes in my body. You need to reduce your sugar intake. You need to reduce your caffeine intake. And ideally, drink 2 litres of water every day. See, when you dehydrate your body, when you're not getting enough water into your system, it creates tension in the system. And every little marginal gain you can find will really make a difference to your stress levels, your memory, and the results you get when it comes to succeeding in school. So you've got to drink that 2 litres of water a day. I encourage you not to guzzle the 2 litres all at once for breakfast. I also recommend that you don't down it in one right before bedtime. Slowly sip it throughout the day. It's around about 8 big glasses. So, when you're transitioning from, having your breakfast and walking to school, sip some water. When you're in morning break time or recess, sip some water. When it gets to lunchtime, make sure you have some water. You get the point here. It's about hydrating your body throughout the day, and that will help reduce your stress levels. The fourth thing that you can do to reduce teen stress is to get your nutrition sorted out. There are some foods that create stress and tension and anxiety in the body, and there are others that have a calming and soothing effect. Now, just as I mentioned with the hydrating yourself in the third recommendation, sugar, and particularly too much of the certain types of sugar, are a problem. Let me be specific here. I'm talking about added white refined sugar that are in manufactured foods. So if you're buying chocolate bars and other snacks that have had sugar added to them, they're likely to create stress and tension in the body. They're likely to create an addictive effect where it's a really clever chemical reaction that takes place in your body. Because what these food producers do is, you've got to remember, these manufacturing companies, they're there to create a profit. They're not there to help improve your health. They're there to generate a profit for their shareholders. And the way they generate a profit for their shareholders is to sell more of their stuff to people like you. And so if they can make it so that their food has an addictive quality to it, where it might satiate your appetite in the short term, but it doesn't actually really give your body the nutrients it needs, then you have to go back and eat more of their product. And it might make you feel good in the short term, might even give you a little dopamine release in the short term, but it doesn't actually give you the nutrients you need. And so then you end up finding that you've got to go back to eat more of their product again. Sound familiar? I knew I used to be like this with chocolate bars. I'd eat a chocolate bar, it'd feel good in the moment, it'd give me a little bit of an energy boost, but it had got next to no nutritional value. Half an hour later, I was hungry again, going back for more chocolate. So I'd eat more chocolate, I'd feel good in the moment, I'd have a little bit more energy, but of course there was next to no nutritional value in it, so I was going back again. And of course, this creates a constant stressing of the system. This anxiety of, I need more chocolate, I want more of that snack. The same does not apply to the sugars that are found in fruits and vegetables. They're different kinds of sugars. If they're naturally occurring sugars that are still in the form of the fruit or in the form of the plant or in the form of the vegetable, then go ahead and consume them. They're going to be healthy and they're going to be good for you. But I want to make sure that if you're using manufactured products where you have to take a wrapper off of them, probably not a good idea, particularly if you want to reduce your stress levels. Of course, it's common sense for me to say at this point in time, when it comes to the last two tips I've given you about your hydration and your nutrition, that it's really important that you get professional advice and go and consult with your doctor before you make any changes to your nutrition and your hydration. It's really important. If you want some advanced ideas, in fact, they're not even really advanced ideas. They're just common sense, brilliant, super effective ideas about how to look after your hydration and nutrition better than you are already, then I really want to recommend you go and visit a website called juicemaster.com. That's juicemaster.com. They're not sponsoring the show. I'm not getting paid to recommend them. I just think that they do a fantastic job of taking healthy foods and making them taste good. They do a fantastic job of helping to unbrainwash people. All the adverts that we've had over the years about what we think we need to consume versus what we actually need to consume if we're going to reduce our stress levels and be more healthy, then that's a really good website. Loads of celebrities use it. They produce free recipes every day, I think, and certainly on social media. They're sharing stuff every week. I really recommend you go juicemaster.com. They'll help you with your hydration and nutrition in ways that will help reduce stress. And finally, we get to the fifth solution for reducing teen stress. And this is all related to procrastination. In other words, I've noticed that a lot of human beings, and this is not just teenagers, if they can put something off until a later date, they'll tend to do it. As they say in the Mediterranean, mañana, mañana. Tomorrow, we'll get it done tomorrow. Unfortunately, for some people, tomorrow never comes. Except when it comes to exams, when you're in high school, when you've got tests to do, of course, the day does come. And the problem is if you keep putting off your schoolwork, if you've got homework to do, assignments to do, extra studying, revision, things you need to practice, rehearse, revise in order to improve your memory and get that information in so that you can thrive and succeed in that exam. If you keep putting it off, quite frankly, you just end up running out of time. You get to the point where there isn't enough time to do the studying you need to do if you're going to get a good grade. So it's really important that you develop the habit of doing today the things that you need to do today and not putting them off till tomorrow, next week, next month, or some other point in the future. Here's a routine that I've learned from a lot of successful people. Here's what they do. Before they go to bed at night, they decide what their top 2 or 3 priorities are going to be for the following day. They clarify that. They write it down on a little piece of notepaper, or they'll put it on their phone, and they'll make sure that they are knowing what their priorities are for the next day before they go to bed at night. Then when they wake up in the morning, they immediately set about dealing with those priorities. They don't wait until after breakfast or after lunch. They don't wait until the evening time to eventually get round to their priorities for the day. They get up and they get cracking. As Brian Tracy called it, his book title was Eat the Frog. In other words, get up in the morning and get it done. Please don't literally eat the frog. That wouldn't be very nice. Not for you, nor the frog. Right? But the point is, when you wake up in the morning, get the first thing done, the most important thing done that you need to get done that day. And if that's spending a little bit of time studying something, reading something, listening to something, watching something, taking notes on something, asking an expert for some advice, whatever it may be, get up and get it done. And the best way to set about it is just figure out what's my priority. What's the most important thing I need to do today if I'm going to achieve my goals? There it is. It's the question. What's the most important thing I need to do today if I'm going to achieve my goals? And get that thing done first. Then you've got the rest of the day to do whatever else you want to do. There you go, folks. They are the 5 solutions for teen stress. First of all, get some deep breathing and exercise done. Secondly, make sure you sleep for those 8 to 9 hours per day uninterrupted. Thirdly, got to take care of your hydration. Fourth, it's all about your nutrition. And fifth, stop the procrastination and get your priorities sorted and dealt with up front first thing each day. If you do these things, you'll start to realize that your stress levels are going down. And as your stress levels go down, the performance of your brain, your mind, your memory goes up. It's as if it's like magic. But it's all about your routines. It's not good enough to just know this stuff. You got to put it into your daily routines and rituals. That's what happy and successful people do. Now, if you know somebody that's struggling with teen stress right now, maybe they themselves, their son, their daughter, or they've got students that are struggling with stress, please share this episode with them. You can do that by, going to the places where the show is available. First of all, it's available on the Unstoppable Teen website. This is episode number 35. So I want to encourage you to go to unstoppableteen.com/35. That's where you'll find the show notes and the links to the audio for this session. You can also get this podcast on iTunes and on SoundCloud. I obviously want to encourage you to not just listen to this episode today, but it's a weekly show. And we're on a mission to help 1 million young people experience a better quality of life. We do that by interviewing highly successful people, millionaire entrepreneurs, best-selling authors, super successful athletes. You get my point. And we share their techniques and their strategies. So if you'd like to get that brilliant advice for free every week, please go to unstoppableteen.com/subscribe. And if you sign up there, you'll get all of our content for free every week, and we'll welcome you into the Unstoppable Teen community. If you've got any particular concerns, big problems or issues that you're dealing with right now, please do drop us a line. Let us know. You can do that in the comments section. You can do that via our social media channels, the usual places, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You know where to find us, at Unstoppable Teen. And we're here to help. We really do care, and we really do want to make a difference in the lives of young people. So drop us a line. Then, of course, if you'd like me to come into your school to present one of my motivational seminars live and in person and share strategies with young people to help them take control of their emotions and reduce their stress levels, whether that's to do with exams and tests or indeed another aspect of life, I'd love to come and be there. Go to unstoppableteen.com to find out more. For now, use what you get out of this episode, and I look forward to seeing you next week when we'll share more ideas that help you become truly unstoppable. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.